Okay, folks, I hope you can all hear me okay. Jim Williams here, hurricanecity.com. I know before I get into Barry, I want to discuss a little. I'm not going to get in depth about this, but I know I said I was going to cut back on a lot of products. I'm not going to do any more videos and shows, and I felt that uh, we weren't getting enough donations and general support for the product. But people have stepped up the last couple of weeks, and we've had some decent donations come into Hurricane City. And this is a pretty serious situation with Barry heading into Louisiana. So I felt we needed to go ahead and do a video update here this afternoon. And I have a lot of images to show you here. I'll save all the comments about why I'm not doing this stuff for maybe another show, but right now the important thing is for people in Louisiana to be prepared for some heavy flooding. And I think tomorrow and going into Sunday are going to be the biggest days for some flooding. So without further ado, let me go ahead and switch sources here and get to some of these images, and we'll talk about what I think is going to happen here over the next couple of days. So here we are. Here is my desktop screen from the HurTrack program. Pretty cool addition to the HurTrack program. That link can be found at Hurricane City, and it allows you to use the satellite desktop as a screensaver, which is pretty cool. You can see Barry nicely set up right in the center of the screen there, heading into Louisiana. So let's go ahead and first of all, I wanted to show you a let's see, we can show you the enhanced floater loop. This is courtesy of weathernerds.org. I love this website because it shows you the different floater loops and all kinds of different options they have for showing an active storm in progress. But you can see the cloud tops here are expanding here to the south of the center, and the hurricane hunters were out there and are still flying around out there, and they're finding this 65-mile-an-hour tropical storm. And now the National Hurricane Center just released their new update, and they believe this is now going to be a hurricane at landfall. They've been waffling back and forth between hurricane and tropical storm. I think it's splitting hairs at this point, because if it comes in as a tropical storm versus a Category 1, the difference is basically negligent. It's negligible, rather. It's going to be a rain event. And we look at the radar here from WeatherTap, and this is pretty cool. This is a new program they have here that's called Radar Lab National. It allows you to see all the radars from around the entire country at the same time. But as you can see, the rain is pouring into the New Orleans metro area, Lake Pontchartrain. It's coming in. Another band here south of the Plaquemines coming in, and going to be heading into Grand Isle, Louisiana. And then as the center gets further west, it's going to be, the rain is going to be moving more into Morgan City, Louisiana, Intracoastal City, Louisiana. But my biggest concern is for tomorrow and the next day, and I'll show you the reasons why. And by the way, the reason I'm doing an update video this morning is I'm free. Look at the rain over South Florida. Many of you know I'm a contractor, and when it rains, I can't work. And when it is sunny out, which it's been a lot of that lately, I cannot put the time into this that I would like to. So I'm here today to do an update video because I simply have the time. So I have the luxury to produce this video. But while I'm on that subject, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be doing update videos on every single tropical system in the Atlantic this year. I'm only going to do update videos for significant threats, which this is, even though it's not a hurricane. It may become one, but it's irrelevant. It's going to be a flooding event for southeastern Louisiana. If there is a major threat this year, I may do some hurricane warning coverage. And of course, if it's South Florida, I'll be covering the storm live in the storm with my cams and whatnot. So you'll get that information if it's a Florida hit. Anywhere else, I'll be glad to cover it if it's a major deal. All right, so let's get to some images here. Wanted to talk about the models a little bit. And here is the HMON model on Barry, and this is for tomorrow evening, tomorrow afternoon going into the evening hours. And the reason I'm showing you this about 24 hours from now, maybe a little longer than that from now, look at the massive rain shield that's going to be moving into the Lake Pontchartrain area, New Orleans. And again, the tropical models have been completely crazy on this system. They've been waffling a lot. They're having it going in as a major in some runs and just a Category 1 hurricane in some other runs, and then a lot of times they're talking about just tropical storm status. And when I say just, I mean there's a huge difference between a major hurricane and a tropical storm. So again, it's irrelevant in this particular case because all this banding, all the rain is going to be coming up when the center is west of Lake Pontchartrain. That's when the worst conditions are going to be coming in. So don't let this fool you now. I'm going to show you a live webcam from New Orleans in just a minute. Yesterday they were showing flooding in the streets. Right now there's no flooding going on because the water's run off. It's had a chance. Even though there's some banding coming in right now, it's not the deluges they had a couple of days ago. So, but if this happens, that's on this model right here, we're going to have some big problems, especially in the downtown areas with flooding. Here is the H wharf. And again, this has been the most aggressive model on the entire evolution of Barry. It had it going in as a major hurricane west of Morgan City pretty consistently. Now it's backed off to Category 1 or strong tropical storm status. But here we are early on Sunday, 992 millibars west of Lake Pontchartrain. And look at the banding that's going to be coming in from the south. Tremendous amounts of deep convection going over Lake Pontchartrain, downtown New Orleans. This is when the worst conditions, I believe Saturday afternoon, 24 hours from now, basically, going into Sunday evening is going to be the worst period for this area for flooding if these models pan out. But just about every model, I mean, here we are. If you look at the GFS model, if I can get my next image going in here. Okay, I seem to be frozen here. I can't get the, I can't get the next image up here. All right, whatever. Let's just skip this idea. You know what? I'm running the HER track, and that uses a lot of resources on this computer, so a lot of times things will lock up. But again, there's that national radar. Anyway, the GFS, just in a nutshell, the GFS, let me see if I can grab it here. No, it's still not loading. The GFS is basically showing tropical storm in the same situation where the heavy banding is coming in from the south, and I think that's when the worst conditions are going to be in southeastern Louisiana. So here's a live webcam from New Orleans, and you'll see that the streets are dry right now, and we get that going. It should boot up any minute. Again, I have so many things going on here on this computer, but look at the streets. I don't know if the images from the news was from this particular area when they were showing people like swimming in the streets and cars with water up to their doors. I don't think that was this particular location, but it is comforting that at least they're not dealing with that at this particular moment. So when the heavy rain does come in, it'll take a little time for flooding to occur, and at least they're not starting out with flooding conditions. So apparently that's not going to load either. So let's go ahead right to the HER track program, and let's animate this and show you what the forecast is. Again, this is based on the 11 a.m. that just came in from the National Hurricane Center, 10 a.m. Central Time. So let's start the animation, and here we go. You can see the system pulling in and moving straight north after it comes on shore. So here we are, 3 a.m. tomorrow morning, and the system is just south of Morgan City, Louisiana, right at hurricane status. And notice the Grand Isle over here just to the right. This was my number 5 pick for my city predictions this year. This will make, I think it's like 14 out of 16 years that one of my top 5 cities has been impacted by a tropical system. So that's going to remain intact. I sent that to my mailing list, by the way, for people that donate to Hurricane City. If you donate to Hurricane City, you'll get put on the list automatically and get my updates. So we appreciate that, and that's what helps fuel Hurricane City. Morgan City and Intracoastal Louisiana, which it looks like it's going to pass over those areas directly, were not in my top 5 this year. In fact, they weren't in my top 20. So we'll see what happens the rest of the year with my other top 20 picks, which I will share with you as it warrants. So again, we go forward, and you can see the system moves generally north. Let's start this animation one more time. And inside the aqua circle are sustained tropical storm force winds, and there it goes off into the north of Intracoastal City, Louisiana as a tropical storm. And there's going to be a lot of inland flooding as a result of this system as well. So let's quickly take a look at some current observations out there. We have tropical storm force winds just south of the land areas right now. I'm waiting for this to load. We have sea surface temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, which is plenty of fuel for tropical systems, but this is being sheared by northerly wind shear. In fact, if I can pull that animation up one more time of the enhanced floater loop, you can see that there's still dry air. It's like a half a storm. I mean, all the convection is out over the Gulf of Mexico, very little over land. But don't let that fool you. There is some rain coming into the southeastern Louisiana area at this time, and it's going to flow into Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle as well, again, Saturday afternoon going into Sunday as this moves west of Lake Pontchartrain and then eventually north. All that moisture is going to be flowing in. So hypothetically, what you're looking at right now down here could be over land on Saturday night going into Sunday, which is going to be a really bad situation. That's the reason I'm doing this update video. Let's see if we did get the, let me try it again. Let me see if I have, oh, here we go. All right, and let's scan this down a little bit. Here's the current wind gust, again, gusting right up to tropical storm force at this point. Mainly the highest winds are out over the water. And let's put our sea surface temperatures on the map. Again, 83, 84 degrees right near land. Let's take a look at the wave heights. We have 5-foot wave heights just south of Grand Isle, Louisiana. And again, one more time, let's take a look at the winds. Again, gusting around 30, 35, 40 miles an hour out over the open waters, but nothing like that over land at this point. So I wanted to show you more here, but apparently we're having some computer issues. Way too many things open on the screen here. So I'm going to leave the radar up while I make my final thoughts here. Again, heavy flooding Saturday night into Sunday for southeast Louisiana. I wanted to show you the flood stages and everything, but it's just not going to allow me to do it here this morning. Everybody should be prepared for very heavy flooding in southeast Louisiana, especially the New Orleans area. We're already at flood stage in a lot of these canals and waterways. The Mississippi is way, way high, and the feeling is that the reinforced walls that were built after Katrina, I would love to show you a picture of that as well right now, but it's not working out. They're reinforced walls that were built after Katrina. I don't think we're going to see any breaches or anything like that, but we could see some overtopping of these levees, which would cause quite a bit of flooding, so I hope people are prepared for that. They've already had some mandatory evacuations for people in the low-lying areas, so we wish them the best of luck. Anyway, that's about it. I just wanted to do an update, let people know that my thoughts are with the people in southeast Louisiana. It's going to be a serious situation, even though it's not technically a hurricane yet. A lot of flooding in store. Everybody be ready for what's coming here starting tomorrow going into Sunday. It's going to be the worst time period for the rainfall and the flooding. And that's going to be it. No more updates from me on this system. We'll see you if there's a major threat this year. I'm Jim Williams. Thank you for watching.